Hey guys, tonight we step straight through the creaking wooden gates of a medieval town, the kind you've seen in storybooks, but never had to survive in yourself. And trust me, you probably won't survive this. Your shoes squelch in thick mud. A gust of wind slices through your cloak. And somewhere overhead, a bell clangs like it has nothing better to do. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And don't forget to drop your location and local time in the comments. I always love seeing where you're listening from. Now dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. The first thing you notice is the smell. It's not the polite kind of, oh, someone's cooking onions smell. No, this is the all-out assault of unwashed humanity, horse dung, wood smoke, and whatever is rotting near the open drains on either side of the narrow road. You pull your cloak tighter because the wind finds its way down your collar anyway, and you realize these walls weren't built to keep out winter. They were built to keep out enemies. Cold drafts? Nobody cared. You edge past a cart loaded with hay, at least you think it's hay. There's something suspiciously lumpy underneath, covered by a ragged cloth. The driver flicks his reins and doesn't bother looking at you. He's busy steering through the potholes. You nearly twist your ankle in one of them because, surprise, medieval streets aren't exactly paved like modern sidewalks. Some towns had cobblestones, yes, but this one seems to prefer the mud and hope for the best approach. Historians still argue whether towns invested much in road upkeep or left it to individual householders. But right now, your boots couldn't care less about the academic debate. They just want to stay attached to your feet. Overhead, wooden balconies jut out like the town's trying to give you a claustrophobic hug. Laundry dangles stiffly in the cold gray air. A chicken darts across the street, wings flapping as if it's fleeing from some poultry apocalypse. You sidestep it and almost collide with a boy carrying 2 buckets of water that slosh dangerously close to your legs. He scowls at you like it's your fault for existing in his path. You pause by a stone fountain in the center square. People crowd around it, filling buckets, washing vegetables, even rinsing their hands. And you try not to think about what's upstream feeding this thing. Back then, the idea of germs didn't exist, so everyone shared the same water like one big, happy, disease-prone family. A gust of wind whips through the square, sending loose straw swirling around your boots. Someone yells in a dialect you barely recognize, maybe cursing at the weather, maybe at his mule, maybe at life in general. Either way, he doesn't sound cheerful. The cold here isn't the crisp Instagram filter kind. It's the kind that crawls under your skin and takes up residence. You duck under a timbered archway where merchants sell goods that look as tired as they do. Salted fish hangs in stiff rows. A woman waves a handful of onions at you like she's casting a spell. A man selling furs eyes your thin cloak with a smirk that says, "You'll be back when you're freezing later." Somewhere nearby, a church bell tolls again, echoing off the walls like it's trapped in its own sermon. The townsfolk barely react. They're used to it. You, on the other hand, jump like someone just shouted in your ear. As you wander deeper, you realize space is at a premium here. Houses lean toward each other like gossiping neighbors. The upper floors jut out so far you could shake hands with someone across the street without leaving your window. People toss things, best not to ask what, straight from the upper windows into the open drains below. A splash follows. You step back quickly. The cold keeps working its way into your bones. Someone passes carrying firewood, and you briefly consider following them, like a stray cat, just for the warmth. Fires are precious here. Wood isn't cheap, and winter doesn't care about your budget. You overhear a conversation about a traveling merchant stuck outside the walls because the gates close at sunset. Tough luck for him. These gates lock tight every night, not because of wolves or bandits. Well, sometimes them too, but mostly because towns like to sleep without unexpected guests wandering in. The air grows heavier as you move past the marketplace into narrower lanes where sunlight barely reaches. Here, the smell doubles down. You catch sight of a man emptying a bucket into the gutter and decide you didn't need to know what was in it. A couple of pigs root around nearby, the unofficial sanitation crew. A scholar, because there's always one, once wrote that medieval towns were centers of progress and learning. You glance at the pigs, the mud, the leaning houses dripping something unpleasant from their eaves, and think maybe he should have visited in February before writing that line. A sudden shout erupts behind you. Two boys sprint past, one clutching what looks like a loaf of bread, the other yelling about theft. No one chases them. Maybe nobody owns the bread, or maybe nobody wants to run in this weather. You turn a corner and nearly collide with a group of monks wrapped in heavy robes, their sandals slapping the mud as they chant softly. They smell faintly of incense, which, frankly, is the nicest aroma you've encountered all day. Finally, you stop in the shadow of a tall, crooked building where the wind can't reach you. For a moment, the town quiets. A dog barking in the distance, a cartwheel creaking somewhere, the ever-present bell tolling once more. You pull your cloak tighter, realizing this is only day one. You haven't even seen where people live yet. The cold presses in, the filth swirls around your boots, and you start to wonder if maybe, just maybe, you should have picked a warmer century to visit.